Assalamu alaikum, dear students. I hope you all are doing well. Let me welcome you all in our this week's first lecture. As you know, this subject is about leadership and motivation. We have talked about leadership and several approaches which a leader can choose while making decisions. And now, from now onwards, we will move towards our concepts of motivation. Before moving toward our this week's lesson, let's have a quick recap of what we did in our last class. We were talking about team leadership, where we learned that a team is a type of organizational group that is composed of members who are independent, who share common goal, and who must coordinate their activities to accomplish these goals. Team members must work collectively to achieve their goal. After this, we learn some of the outcomes that are very important or that are desirable outcomes for an effective organizational team. These can be greater productivity, more effective use of resources, better decisions and problem solving, better quality products and services, and greater innovation and creativity. From this, we move towards the Hill model for team leadership, where we learn that there are three main phases of this model. One was team effectiveness, other was leadership actions, and third was leadership decisions. If you remember, at the bottom of the Hill model for team leadership was the team effectiveness. This team effectiveness focuses on team excellence or the desired outcomes of the teamwork. Basically, there were two critical functions of team effectiveness, which were performance and development. Performance was related to task accomplishment, and development was related to team maintenance. Then at the top, at the second was the leadership action. There were these tasks can be internal, or these actions can be internal and external as well. If you remember, we talked that internal actions could be task oriented or relation oriented, and external could be environmental oriented. And at the top of the Hill model for team leadership is the leadership decisions, which include the major decisions the teams that leadership needs to make when determining whether and how to intervene to improve team functioning. Sometimes the leader need to decide whether he just need to monitor and observe, or at that time he need to intervene. After these two, he needs to make decision that what he is supposed to do. Then we talked about some of the strengths of this leadership model, where we learned that it is designed to focus on the real life organizational work group and the leadership needed therein. It provides a cognitive guide that helps leader to design and maintain effective teams. Particularly, it is important when teams' performance is below the standards, and this approach can help the leaders to take account the changing role of leader and followers in the organization. As we also learned about the shared leadership, where the team members share the leadership among themselves whenever there is a need of some skills or some capabilities. The person who is having those skills, he moves forward, he leads the team, and then once that project is finished or when the task is finished, the leader step back and then he lets others to lead the team. This was we learned in this was in the shared or distributed leadership. A main criticism which is being done on this model for team leadership, that it is a conceptual framework to assist teams in decision making. and lots of and the skills this team model has been described, they are very limited, so more skills are needed to add into this model. And then this as at times it this model appears to be a little complex when making the decisions. For working when the leader is working on the teams or on the projects, what at times what leader do, he sometimes he choose to use an assessment tool such as team excellence and collaborative team leader questionnaire to help conduct the team's diagnosis and set the steps needed for taking actions. For this team members are asked to fill out the questionnaire, and then the scores is being interpreted and then compared, and from this the decision is being taken within the teams. Students, I have given you one assignment on this team leadership questionnaire, but many students have sent me messages that they are having some issues while solving that questionnaire. So we already have done many times in the class. So I thought that it would be better that if we do again in the class. So that questionnaire we will fill again in our interactive session, and after that you can interpret your results and then you can submit me your results, and everything according to those results which you learn from those results. Now move that this is all what we have done in our last session, and now we will move towards our motivating concepts. I hope that most of these, in this concepts today, we will talk about some of the traditional theories and some of the contemporary theories. I hope that you all have learned many theories in other subjects, so that this lesson will be a kind of your revision from the previous works. So students, I hope that by end of this lesson, you will be able to describe the three key elements of motivation, some of the early theories of motivation, and evaluate their applicability in today's life. You will be able to apply the predictions of self-determination theory to intrinsic and extrinsic rewards, and compare and contrast. We will also compare and contrast goal setting theory and management by objective. You have seen that, or we have seen lots of time that one of the students who struggles to read a textbook for more than 20 minutes, he may finish a book of his own interest, some novel or some book of his own interest in a day. The difference between these two is the situation. So we can analyze the concept of motivation. Keep in mind that the level of motivation varies both between individuals and within the individuals at different times. So motivation is the process that account for an individual's intensity, direction, and persistence of effort towards attaining a goal. Intensity, direction, and persistence of effort towards attaining a goal. While general motivation is concerned with efforts towards any goal, as our main focus is towards organizational goals, so we will talk about mostly, or we will narrow the focus to organizational goals in order to reflect our singular interest in work-related behavior. So the three key elements in our motivation are intensity, direction, and persistence. What intensity is? Intensity describes how hard a person tries. This is the element most of us focus on when we talk about motivation. However, high intensity is unlikely to lead to favorable job performance outcomes unless the effort is channeled in a direction that benefits the organization. Therefore, we consider the quality of effort as well as its intensity. Efforts once directed towards and consistent with the organization goal is the kind of effort you should be seeking. And finally, motivation has a persistence dimension. This measures how long a person can maintain effort, how long a person can maintain his effort. Motivated individuals stay with the task long enough to achieve their goals. So, motivation is a process for that accounts for an individual's three main things to attain the goal. One is intensity, other is direction, and third is persistence. There are many early theories of motivation, particularly employee motivation formulated during the early 1950s, although some are now questionable due to their validity, but they are still best known up till now. And these represent a foundation on which these theories still appears to be a foundation on which practicing managers still rely and still use them and their terminologies in their daily routine tasks. So first is hierarchy of needs theory. It is also known as Maslow's theory or Maslow's hierarchy of needs. This is the best known theory of motivation, in which Maslow's hypothesized that within every human being exists a hierarchy of some needs. He has divided these needs into five needs. I hope that you all had talked about this theory when you learn your organization behavior subject. So again, I must say this is kind of your revision or of all these theories which you already have learned. So according to him, there are five main theories. One is physiological, other is safety, third is social, fourth is esteem, and fifth is self-actualization. Physiological needs are those needs that includes your hunger, your thirst, your shelter, and other such needs, which are your very basic needs. Then comes safety, that is your related to your security and protection from physical and emotional harm. Then social, that is your belongingness and your friendship and your affection and your acceptance. Fourth, esteem is your this is deals with your internal factors such as your self-respect, your achievement, and sometimes it deals with your external factors such as your status, your recognition, and attentions. And finally is the self-actualization, that is a drive to become what we are capable of being. Coming includes growth, achieving our potential, and self-fulfillment. Although it is very important that no need is ever fully gratified, a substantially satisfied need no longer motivates. Thus, as each becomes substantially satisfied, the next one becomes dominant. So, if you want to motivate someone, according to Maslow's, you need to understand at what the level of the hierarchy that person is currently on, and then you need to focus on satisfying needs at or above that level, like moving up the steps from physiological to safety, safety to social, social to esteem, and esteem to self-actualization. Maslow's theory received wide recognition, particularly among practicing managers. It appears intuitively logical and easy to understand. And when introduced, it provided a compelling alternative to behaviorist theories that voices only about physiological and safety needs are important. However, at times, this theory could not be validated, and it is very important that Maslow provided no empirical substantiation, and several studies. It is very important that Maslow Maslow's this theory could not be validated, or sometimes it could not support the findings of the research. There is little evidence that need structures are organized as Maslow proposed, that unsatisfied need motivate or that satisfied need activates movement to a new need level. But all theories, but especially the ones who are intuitively logical, they apparently die hard, and that's why. Still now, Maslow's theory is quite renowned and managers use it quite oftenly while making decisions. Then comes your theory X and theory Y. Theory X and theory Y was proposed by Douglas McGregor. He proposed two distinct views of human beings. One basically negative, and that negative he labeled as theory X, and other basically positive, and he labeled that positive as Y, theory Y. After studying managers' dealings with employees, McGregor concluded that their views of the nature of human beings are based on certain assumptions that mold their behavior. Under Theory X, manager believes that employees inherently dislike work and must therefore be directed or even they need to force into performing it. And so theory X says employees don't like to work, but in contrast to theory Y, it says that employees can view work as being as natural as rest or play, and therefore the average person can learn to accept and even seek responsibility. To understand more fully, let's think in terms of Maslow's hierarchy. Theory Y assumes high order needs dominant individuals. McGregor himself believed Theory Y assumptions were more valid than Theory X. Therefore, he proposed ideas such as participative decision making, responsible and challenging jobs, a very good group relations to maximize the employee's job motivation. But unfortunately, no evidence confirmed that either set of assumption is valid or that acting on theory Y assumption will lead to more motivated workers, or acting on theory X worker will lead to more motivated workers. So basically, this theory lacks such support as much as the hierarchy of needs. But still, this theory is a renowned theory from the early theories. So, what theory X and Y says? Theory X says that manager believe employee dislike to work, and theory Y says that employee view work as being natural, just like we are having a rest or we play or we eat. So they feel that the working on some task or working in some an organization is just natural. Then comes two-factor theory. Believing an individual's relationship to work is basic and that attitude towards work can determine success or failure. So, the psychologist Herzberg, he was of the opinion that what do people want from their job? He asked certain people to describe in details situations in which they felt exceptionally good or bad about their jobs. When the responses came, he was surprised that the responses differed significantly, and these responses led Herzberg to his two-factor theory, which is also called motivation hygiene theory. According to this theory, there are intrinsic factors such as advancement, recognition, your responsibility, and achievement. They seem related to a job satisfaction. Respondents who felt good about their work tended to attribute these factors to themselves, while dissatisfied respondents tended to cite extrinsic factors such as supervision, pay, company policy, and working conditions. They feel those factors more important for the job satisfaction. Importantly, according to the Herzberg, the data suggests that opposite of satisfaction is not dissatisfaction, which we traditionally believed. Removing dissatisfying characteristics from a job does not necessarily make the job satisfying. So here, I'm sorry, Herzberg proposed a two-way continuum. One was the opposite of satisfaction is not satisfaction, is no satisfaction, and the opposite of dissatisfaction is no satisfaction. That means opposite of satisfaction means no satisfaction, and opposite of dissatisfaction means no dissatisfaction. According to Herzberg, the factors that lead to job satisfaction are separate and distinct from those that lead to job dissatisfaction. Therefore, managers who seek to eliminate factors that can create job dissatisfaction may bring about peace, but not necessarily motivation. They will be they will not be able to motivate their employees or their workers. That's why Herzberg characterized conditions such as quality of supervision, pay, company policies, physical working conditions, relationship with others, and job security as hygiene factors. That's why the two-factor theory is also known as motivation hygiene theory. According to this, if we want to motivate people on their job, there are certain factors that are associated with the work itself or with the outcome directly derived from it, such as promotional opportunities, personal growth opportunities, recognitions, responsibility, and achievement. These are the some of the characteristics that people find intrinsically rewarding, and when they feel that they are having promotional opportunities, they are having some personal growth opportunities, they can find some recognition or achievement, they intrinsically feel that intrinsically feel motivated, and they want to do that work. Unfortunately, again, the two-factor theory has not been well supported in the literature, and it has some criticisms as well. First is this methodology is limited because it relies on self-reports. Then, at times, the reliability of his methodology is questionable because no overall measures of satisfaction was utilized. It has been observed that a person may dislike part of a job, yet still think that the job is acceptable overall, and he keep on working it. That's why there was no overall measure of satisfaction which was utilized in this. Herzberg assumed a relationship between satisfaction and productivity, but importantly, he looked only at satisfaction. We must assume a strong relationship between satisfaction and productivity. So we must look at the productivity point of view as well. But these are some of the criticism which two-factor theory or motivation hygiene theory is still facing. But regardless of these criticisms, this theory has been widely read. So these were the some of the early theories of motivation. Now we will talk about some of the contemporary theories of motivation. Let me recall which traditional theories or early theories we have learned. We have talked about hierarchy of needs theory. We have talked about theory of X and theory Y, and we have talked about two-factor theory. Now, it has been observed that early theories of motivations, either they don't have a close examination of certain things, or sometimes some theories have fallen out of favor. However, the contemporary theories have one common thing. Each has a reasonable degree of valid supporting documentation. So we call them contemporary theories because they represent the current state of thinking in explaining employee motivation. That's why they are known as contemporary theories. The first theory we will talk about is self-determination theory. According to this theory, the people prefer to feel that they have control over their action. So anything that makes a previously enjoyed task feel more like an obligation than a freely chosen activity will undermine their motivation. More of the researchers who are focusing on self-determination theory, they have focused on cognitive evaluation theory. According to this, as extrinsic rewards will reduce intrinsic interest in a task. When people are paid for work, it feels like less like something they want to do and more like something they have to do. When organizations use extrinsic reward as payoff for superior performance, employees feels that they are doing a good job, less because of their own intrinsic desire to excel then, because that is what the organization wants. Sometimes eliminating extrinsic reward can also shift an individual's perception of why she works on a task from an external to an internal explanation. For example, if you are reading a novel in a week because your instructor has asked you to read, you can attribute your reading behavior to an external source, which you are forced or which you are bound to do. However, if you find yourself continuing to read a novel a week after the course is over, your natural inclination is to say, I must enjoy reading novels because I'm still reading one a week. So these are the things which are very important for motivation, for self-determining of a person's motivation. It has been observed that self-determination theory says that extrinsic rewards such as verbal praise and feedback about competence, it can improve even intrinsic motivation, but under specific circumstances. Sometimes deadlines and specific work standards do too. Uh, the deadlines and specific work standards also do the same things, but it's only possible if people believe they are in control of their behavior. So, what does self theory suggest for providing rewards? For example, if a senior sales representative really enjoys selling and making the deals, compensation indicates she's being doing a good job and increases her sense of competence by providing feedback that could improve intrinsic motivation. On the other hand, if let's take the example of a computer programmer. If a computer programmer values writing codes because she likes to solve problems, a reward for working to an externally imposed standard she does not accept, such as writing a certain number of lines of code every day or writing a certain types of code every day, that will suffer her intrinsic motivation, and she would be less interested in the task, and it is quite obvious that she might reduce her effort as well. So what does all mean? It means that for individuals, it means you choose your job for reasons other than extrinsic rewards. For organizations, it means managers should provide intrinsic as well as extrinsic rewards. They need to make the work interesting, provide recognition, support employee growth, and not only employee growth, but also the employee's development. employee who feel what they do is within their control and a result of free choice are likely to be more motivated by their work and committed to their employees. So that's why there are two types of reward as extrinsic and intrinsic. Extrinsic are considered nowadays more important in organizations, but the manager need to look that along with extrinsic, intrinsic rewards are also very important if you want to motivate your employees. Then comes the goal setting theory. You have learned a lot of time when we talk about your assignments or your quizzes or even your exams that just do your best. Uh, what does that just do your best mean? This is where comes the goal setting theory. That intention to work towards a goal are major source of work motivation. Do your best means you are internally motivated that you are going to that your goal is you are supposed to do your best, and that is your intention to work towards a goal which is to achieve your good grades in your particular course, or your grade you are going to achieve good GPA in your studies or in your bachelor's, and after that you are going to have your practical field where you need to get either you are going to have your business, your own business, or you are going to have a good job. So these are the certain goals which we already have talked about when we talked goal path goal leadership. So goal setting theory, as we already have discussed, is goal specification, challenge, and then feedback on performance. These are the things which goal setting theory talks about. Intention to work towards a goal are major source of work motivation. That is, goals tells an employee, a person, what needs to be done and how much effort is needed. Evidence strongly suggests that specific goals increases performance, and difficult goals. It has also been observed that the difficult goals, when accepted, results in high performance than do easy goals, and then feedback leads to high performance than does non-feedback. So it is very important for attaining any goal that you have your intention to work. This is your main source of motivation, and then how much effort you need to achieve those goals. And after those efforts, you also need to get the feedback. If you are working in an organization, your feedback your manager can give you. If you're studying, your instructor can give you feedback, and sometimes your work results also provide you a self feedback that how much effort you have put, and from that effort how much results you have achieved. It has been observed that if some of the factors such as acceptance of the goals are held constant, the more difficult the goal, the higher the level of performance. Because of course it is very logical that easier goals are more likely to be accepted, but it is very important that once a hard task is accepted, we can expect that employees to exert a high level of effort to try to achieve it. But it is very important, one thing which is very important to understand, that why people motivated by difficult goals. There are certain things which can explain this question. First, when you are having challenging goals, they get our attention and thus tend to help us focus. You can take example of your quizzes at the time of quizzes or assignments. When you are having a deadline of midterm, you are having that your midterm is on Monday, and you are um, 2 or 3 days left for that midterm. At that time, that becomes a challenge for you, and you pay your all attention towards attaining towards attaining your good marks in that midterm. Same is the case when the people are having difficult goals. They get more attention. They are get more attentive. They become more attentive, and thus they tend to help. This help them to be focused. Second, difficult goal energizes us because we have to work harder to attain them. Again, do you study as hard for an easy exam or you do for a difficult one? Definitely, if I tell you my example, when I was having an easy exam, I used to be very relaxed and calm. But if I was having a difficult exam, I was quite motivated that I have to I used to study late at nights, or even sometimes long hours in day and then night as well, because I had some internal feelings that this subject was difficult and I have to study a lot. So that's why it energizes us, because we have to work harder in order to achieve that goal. And then when goals are difficult, people persistently try to attain them. And finally, difficult goal lead us to discover strategies that help us to perform the job or task more effectively. So it is also very important that people do better when they get feedback on how well they are progressing towards their goals, because it helps identifies discrepancies between what they have done and what they want to do. That is, feedback guides your own behavior. But sometimes the people have self-generated feedbacks, and in this way the employees are able to monitor their own progress, and these self-generated feedbacks are more powerful than externally generated feedbacks. Just like I gave you example of your exam preparation. After getting your exams results, the feedback which has been given by your instructor and the feedback you have your own, that how much effort you put in order to solve that, in order to do that midterm, they both have different types of feedbacks. One is your own self generated, and the other is your instructor's feedback, and they both will give you maybe they both will give you uh, different feedbacks. But you yourself know that how much effort you have put, and that's why your own self generated feedback is more important for your product, for your progress. Maybe you will learn that you are not able to get the desired number of desired numbers in your midterm, and in within yourself you feel that you were unable to study for a longer time, maybe because of your health condition, maybe you got some personal engagement, or maybe you got some other activities, and this feedback will prompt you to do better in the final terms as well. That's why self generated feedbacks are very important as compared to if someone else give you the feedback. So, what goal setting theory assumes? It assumes that an individual is committed to the goal and determine not to lower or abandon it. The individual believes he or she can achieve the goal, and he wants to achieve. Goal commitment is more likely to occur when goals are made public, when the individual has an internal locus of control as well. And finally, setting some specific difficult individual goals may have different effects in different cultures. Most setting research has been done in the developed countries like United States and Canada, where individual achievement and performance are more highly valued. Uh, to date, research has not shown that group-based goals are more effective in collectivist as compared to individualist cultures. It has been observed that in collectivist and high power distance culture, achievable moderate goals can be highly motivating than difficult one. A more systematic way to utilize goal setting is, which now many managers are using in their daily tasks, is management by objective. Management by objective emphasizes participatively set goals that are tangible, that are verifiable, and that are measurable. There are four ingredients that are very common to management by objective program. First is your goal specificity, participation in decision making, then time period, and performance feedback. Many elements in management by objective programs match with the goal setting theory. For example, having an explicit time period to accomplish objectives matches goal setting theory emphasis on goal specificity. Similarly, that we noted earlier that feedback about goal progress is a critical element of goal setting theory. The only area of possible disagreement between management by objective and goal setting theory is participation. Management by objective strongly advocates it, whereas goal setting theory demonstrates that managers' assigned goals are usually just as effective. Nowadays, management by objective programs are found in many businesses, healthcare, educational, government, and non-profit organization. And most of the time, management by objective works. But no, as we know, management by objective is getting more and more attention of the managers. Sometimes. Management by objective also fails because the organizations tend to have unrealistic expectations, or sometimes you can have a lack of commitment by top management. These two things mainly are the ones that can affect to achieve the goals. So at times this management objective also becomes difficult to achieve. All these things which a manager need to decide whether they are talking about certain specific goals, or they are talking about the general goals. Manager need to decide whatever decision is very carefully, because the manager's decision can impact on the overall organization performance, and manager's decision as well can also motivate or demotivate the employees as well. So manager's role is very important while making decisions, while setting the goals, and while assigning the duties and responsibilities to the employees. So these are the things which are very important while making decisions. So students, this is all for our today's lesson. In our next lesson, we will talk about some other contemporary theories, and we will particularly our focus will be on self-efficacy, on reinforcement theory, then organizational justice, and expectancy theory. These are some of the theories which we are going to discuss in our next lesson, and we will also be able to compare some contemporary theories of motivation. Before leaving, let's have a quick recap of what we did in our today's lesson. Initially, we talked about motivation, where we learned that motivation has three key elements. One is intensity, other is direction, and third is persistence. Intensity describes how hard a person tries, but this intensity is unlikely to lead to favorable job performance until that person has a direction. And then finally, the motivation finally the person should be persistent as well to maintain that effort. Intensity, once how much hard effort he has put, then he got a direction, and then how long that person can maintain that effort. Then we talked about some of the traditional theories or early theories, where we talked about theory of needs, which is also known as Maslow's hierarchy of needs. in which there were five components we talked about: physiological, safety, social, esteem, and self-actualization. After this, we talked about theory X and theory Y, which was a very important factor was which was in the theory X and theory Y. We learned that theory X believes employee don't like to work, while theory Y believes employee believe that the work is doing work or coming to the work is as natural, just as we are doing the other some of the other ways. Theory X, employees don't like work, and theory Y, employee like work or employee feel that work is doing work is natural. After this, we talked about two-factor theory. This theory is sometimes known as motivation hygiene theory. According to this theory, uh, uh, two fac- according to this two-factor theory, there are some intrinsic factors that are related to job satisfaction, and there are some extrinsic factors that are related to job dissatisfaction. Then, in a very important thing in there, which is in this theory, was that opposite of satisfaction is not dissatisfaction, but opposite of satisfaction is no satisfaction, and the opposite of dissatisfaction is no dissatisfaction. From this, we move towards some contemporary theories where first, we talked about self-determination theory. According to this theory, people prefer to feel they have control over their actions. So anything that previously enjoyed so anything that makes previously enjoyed tasks feel more like an obligation, then freely chosen activity will undermine motivation, which meant that people are more motivated to do the work that is a freely chosen activity instead of assigned task. This is self determination. From this, we talked about goal setting theory, where we learned that intention to work towards a goal is a major source of work motivation. Goals tells employees what needs to be done and how much effort is needed. And that's why once you have set your goals, you are able to put your effort, you comes in a position to put some effort into that goal. And then when you put those efforts, you need to get some feedbacks as well. Some feedbacks you get from your external environment, like your managers, and some feedbacks you are own self generated. And it is very important that self-generated feedbacks are more important as compared to the feedbacks which you obtain from your from your external examiner, from your external supervisor, from your manager, or anything. Self-generated feedbacks are very important in goal setting and goal achievement. And in the end, we talked about management by objective, which emphasizes that participation among the team members, and it actively involved to set the goals that are tangible, that are verifiable, and that are measurable. And we also learned that in some cases, management by objective is common with the goal setting theory, which one: goal specificity, participation in decision making, time period, and performance feedback. And we also learned that management by objective is a very popular trend nowadays, but at times when you don't have some strong commitment by top management, or you are having some unrealistic expectations, at that times management by objective fails. So manager need to think, or manager need to look very carefully on all these things. So students, this is all for today. I hope you got the idea of some of the motivation theories, early theories, and some of the contemporary theories. One thing which I want to share with you: after this lecture, you are going to have your quiz. So please, for that quiz, that will be a short quiz of just 10 to 15 minutes. So you need to have a careful eye on your Google Classrooms, and I will upload your quiz after this lecture. And one thing which is also very important to discuss is that you have finalized your groups, so start working on your projects, and we will discuss in detail on our projects in our interactive session. So until then, this is all from my side. Take care.